Today I'd like to start with a rather interesting stencil that you can use to plaster cylinder-shaped stairs or other cylinder-like structures. So the outcome is way better than when you try to do the plastering the usual way. Notice that the upper step should be prepared in advance because the whole structure rather depends on it, and if you do it the wrong way, it will affect all the other stairs. So the whole thing is based on 2 rails and 2 mounting plates. The anchor that supports the stencil goes right into the middle of the first step, and so the second pivot point is a small wheel. Next on our list is this interesting screw gun nozzle. So one way of using it would be after the stone laying, for instance. The main component here is a 60mm drill, which goes into a 20mm polypropylene pipe. Also notice the bin. It's made of plywood and a piece of plastic, and as you can see, it's very useful. So it's a pretty interesting and fine piece of equipment that will simplify the troweling process. Next thing I'd like to show you is this quick action clamping tongue. Because it has an extra clamp, you can actually use this thing as a sort of mini vise kind of thing. Or you can make it a tool holder of some sort, which will allow for an improvised sharpener. So not only you can sharpen drill bits with it, but you can also do a bit of a manicure. So that's nice. I'm pretty sure that not many people know how to handle the wire crochet hook, so I think that this ratcheting ring spanner based adaptation may very well serve as a reasonable alternative. All you need to do is to drill 2 holes like these, and so this way you can just use it with a screwdriver. And that's actually a lot faster than when you use pliers. So this device here is a spring compression finish that you can make out of a cylinder gun. So you can see a piece of pipe resting on the bearing. The lower ring was cut, and those ends were bent and sharpened. So in this particular case, the device is used for installing the spring on the engine valve. So there you go, fast and easy. And so finally, here's an interesting DIY tile leveling alignment system. Its main advantage is that it's reusable, and you can normally use these things only once or twice, so that's cool. As you can see, clerical clamps and dowels were used at this point. So after the whole thing is dry, you can easily dismount and use it next time just as easy. When drilling in hard-to-reach places, you might want to consider trying one of these. If the drill fits, then chances are you'll be able to make holes in there. The finish is very simple, so all you'll need to make one of these is a still angle, a belt with a handle, and a piece of pipe. So what you do is you fix it where you want to drill, then pull the handle pushing the drill itself, and there you go. I'm sure you'll find this way very useful in many particular cases. This next thing is the nozzle, which is great to use if you grind on curved surfaces. And making one of these isn't hard at all. The best thing about it is quick and convenient abrasive switcheroo. And all you have to do is twist up the nut that holds the clamping washer. And here's a great idea for those of you who want to make a signboard for a shop or a cafe or, you know, your workshop. If you have kids, you can make a little something for them. So the LED strip light goes in the butt of a glass. To send the light in the right direction, it might be a good idea to use the black tape. For this particular panel, you can use fluorescent markers. Now, did you know that you can turn a circular saw into a miter saw in a simple way? A hinge is used to fix the saw based on the plank. You can set the cutting angle by using the guide. Bungee ropes are used to lift and set back the shield. Those of you who ever had a chance of installing a tile floor knows how ruthlessly painful it may be squatting the day away. There's a way out, however, with a small, portable, and very comfortable seat. And because it's detachable, there shouldn't be any trouble storing and moving it around. You can practically put it together in a matter of mere minutes. You gotta agree, this makes the tiling process much easier, and maybe even a bit faster. Think that maybe electricians can be potentially interested in something of this sort. It can help a great deal when working with the sockets by the floor. When welding small parts, this articulated table made of pipes can be very helpful. As you can see, there are clamps for fixing the samples. Simply work one side, turn it over, and do the other one the same way. And here's another interesting solution for the same matter. This is a holder with pincers. And the great thing about it is that you can actually put it at any angle by means of 4 separate hinges. Before you proceed to the actual act of welding, it's always a good idea to prepare the parts using an angle grinder. To fix any kind of parts, especially small ones, you might want to use this kind of vise. There's an axle-mounted clamping mechanism, and by screwing the thrust screw you can regulate the clamping force. You gotta agree, there's no better way of preparing the parts than this. So the next thing I want to show you is this magnetic mass. The magnet of a proper diameter is placed into the bearing cage, which serves as the body. And because the magnet kind of dangles a little bit in there, you can clean it super easy. So, as you see, a great tool to work with. And here's an interesting way in which you can organize your workspace. The welder is fixed on a roller suspension, which you can actually move along the guides under the ceiling. This way you don't need to carry it around, which is good because these things are usually quite heavy. And what's also cool is that cables are hanging down like that, so I think that's also kind of useful. And now let's have a look at this fully functional and very cool portable welding table. It's got trays for all sorts of small things and tools. It has an extension cord over from one side, and from the other side there's a place for a chop saw. There's also a height adjustment regulator that makes it all nip and tug. There are hooks and a place where you can store all the clamps. And if you look at the bottom, you'll see that there's a neat shelf, and there's also one in the front. I'm sure many of you are gonna like this caster rack with angle clamps. Let's say you have 4 of these, so you could use them to weld rectangular structures. And because of the ways the clamps are positioned, you don't really have to squat, so that's also kind of a reasonable solution. And so lastly, here's another interesting thing that will allow you to quickly and accurately drill holes in a pipe on a single axis. So that's all for now. I hope you guys have found something you could use. Share your thoughts in the comments and stick around for new episodes. Thank you for watching.